Hey guys, Crusopp here with another One Piece chapter review. Today's chapter was chapter 896, and we finally get to see the conclusion between the Luffy-Katakuri fight. We start off with seeing right outside the main mirror the trap that Oven set with all the other Big Mom pirates that are currently present, and we basically see Raisin and Yuen. And we get a zoom in on Yuen's face, and he looks kind of like a Thomas the Tank Engine character. But yeah, they're just talking about there's no way that Luffy would fight Katakuri, so he's probably just running around with Brule from island to island up until the meeting time. And it looks like they've got a pretty solid plan to catch him. And Sanji's watching this, and Sanji's like, they've got some seasoned fighters around here, so if I don't get Luffy out of there within the first couple of seconds, then we're gonna just get destroyed. And then you see Pudding, who is just kind of fawning over Sanji, and then Sanji's like, Pudding, it's time for us to part ways. And then he's like, you know, we've been under some weird circumstances, our meeting, but I'm really glad that you were my fiance. And he says this so candidly, and then he just wrecks Pudding with this, and Pudding is thinking, well, Sanji, you shouldn't be thanking me, I should be thanking you, but all she can manage to say is, shut up. Finally, Pudding just says, let me ask one last request, with this crying face, and then she takes the cigarette out of my boy Sanji's mouth, and it's inferred that she's going in for the kiss. So, like, yeah, honestly, I gotta say, unlike a lot of people, I'm a Pudding fan. Like, she's pretty funny, and it's kind of sad because I feel like it's kind of unreciprocated feelings. Sanji just seems to treat her like a normal person, and maybe that's because Pudding just acts like she hates him all the time, but I don't know, I guess that's the way that life works, unfortunately. Most of the time, it's you like someone, you're crazy about someone, and then they don't like you back, or there's somebody who's really into you, but you don't really care much for them, and it's just part of the sad thing of life. But anyway, Pudding, you were an interesting character, so I hope to see Pudding in the story again sometime after this. I'm sure that we'll get a chance to see her. But anyway, so let's go to the end of the Katakuri-Luffy fight. And these couple of panels were very bizarre to me, and I still fully don't understand what's going on, so once I post this, I'm going to try and get a gauge of what other people thought happened. But to me, it looks like Luffy's arm is going right under the Dice Mochi, and I don't think that Luffy actually connected with Katakuri. I think that Katakuri hit Luffy first, but the weird part is that the effect is delayed. There's just a delayed reaction where Luffy's just standing there, and then he suddenly gets forced into the ground, and he's like, you know, got the white eyes, kind of passed out, and then Katakuri falls asleep. When I first saw this scene, what I actually thought had happened was that Luffy, instead of punching Katakuri, just shoved his fist into the ground, which I don't know. I will point out that Luffy didn't want to win this fight by Katakuri's observation haki running out, so maybe to him he didn't really care for the win at this point. But yeah, it honestly to me looks like Katakuri got the hit off and Luffy didn't. But Katakuri is just really exhausted at this point. I'm sure that he's never had this long of a fight in his life. You got a page where you've got Mondor, who's saying that even if the Pirate King Gold Roger came out of this mirror, he'd still be screwed because everybody's surrounding, ready to ambush Luffy when he comes out. And we get to see Capone, and he has a resolve to not drop the cake in the water, to actually bring it to the island like they planned. And yeah, we finally get to see a couple, maybe like 10 minutes later, Luffy coming out of the hole, and Katakuri still laying down on the ground sleeping, and he's just thinking about meeting up with the other Straw Hats. And then he sees Katakuri asking about the time, and then Katakuri just says, will you come back here someday to defeat Big Mom? And then Luffy's just like, of course, I'm the man who's gonna become king of the pirates. And then Katakuri says something pretty cool. You're looking pretty far into the future. And then he just falls over backwards, like he said that he would never do in his life. So, yeah, basically this whole Luffy Katakuri fight actually reminded me of one of the Simpsons episodes where Homer starts boxing, and that's just because Homer has incredible endurance, so there are all these stronger fighters who keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him, and then finally they get tired, and then Homer just nudges them over and they fall on the ground. That's essentially what the end of this fight was like. But yeah, that was a pretty cool quote. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to see kind of a flashback or a conversation where, you know, Katakuri is telling Luffy some information about the Yonko cruise or his past flashback, you know, and then it would have been cool to see some kind of huge final blow, even though it didn't really turn into that. It was more the Homer Simpson thing. But yeah, Luffy puts his, like, disguise hat over Katakuri's mouth so people won't see his teeth, which is a pretty nice memento. And then finally, you see two things, which are, one, you've got Peckham's in disguise coming back with Brûlé, so now Luffy has an escape route so he can meet up with Sanji and the others. And then you see the mirror trap, and you've got the frickin' the culprits with frickin' scythes sitting on the top of the mirror, so they're really poised to attack and try to kill Luffy, and I don't know how Sanji plans on dealing with them. He is like the second fastest Straw Hat, so he does have some crazy speed that he might be able to work in to get Luffy out of there in a blink of an eye, but it's really hard to say at this point. So anyway, honestly, I really like the Sanji pudding interaction from this chapter, and I like the Katakuri quote too. I wasn't super crazy about the way that the fight ended, just because it seemed a little anticlimactic for me at least. But who knows, maybe it'll get elaborated on next chapter. Like I said, I'm not even too sure what happened, so I guess we'll see next time. Anyway, that's all I have to say. It's Crusoe here, and I'm peacing it.